Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Old Warlock. I'm Alex.
I'm Jim.
And welcome to podcast number 5
Something like that, yeah.
of the Old Warlock Podcast, episode 5. I think there's going to be technically 6, but we didn't count the first one because it wasn't very good.
It was actually really good. It's just that
it was bad.
No, it was very good. I enjoyed it.
I didn't.
I had cool sound effects that I added.
I did like your sound effects. I was very impressed by your sound effects.
People were clamoring for the sound effects afterwards. Do you know that?
Were they?
Yeah, they were. They were saying, what happened to the sound effects? Why aren't you doing more sound effects? And I had to keep telling them, well, nobody else liked them here at the Old Warlock, and so I had to stop.
All right. We're going to divide our followers into 2 camps. If you missed the sound effects, comment down below. Hey, I missed the sound effects. Jim is my favorite warlock. And if you didn't, don't miss the sound effects.
You sure you want to do this to yourself?
Yeah, I am.
Because you're going to be
positive.
sad.
I'm going to be eviscerated in the comments.
You're going to be sad and depressed.
Yeah. But say, hey,
when people
Alex
come out
is
on,
my favorite warlock.
When people come out on Team Jim, you're going to be really sad.
We could put T-shirts on the Spreadshirt shop.
Well, I think we should.
That are Team Jim and Team Alex.
Team Jim. I like
Team
that.
Frank.
Oh yeah, Team Zachary.
Team Zachary, but just in really small lettering, like right in the middle.
Well, no, we could do some. We could have Zachary do an artwork of each of us, and then if you're on Team Zachary, it would be blank. Because he never appears in the videos.
You've never. No, that's not true. If you're paying attention, you have been able to see him once.
When?
One time.
Well, he appered on the picture.
Yeah,
but he wasn't actually in the video.
No, but that's the only. Well, his hand was in the video.
His hand signed the document.
But that if you want to see what our videographer looks like, that's the only time you've ever seen his face.
Because he has actually told us that he will never appear on camera.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be seen on camera. Also, fun fact.
Well, go.
He's 3 inches taller than I am.
If not more.
Yeah, maybe 4.
Yeah, I want to say it's. I want to say it might. Well, no, 3 maybe. It might be 4.
Yeah.
You're 6'3"?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's 6'6". I don't think he's 6'7".
Yeah. For context, I am James Harden height, and he is like Jason Tatum height. For all my basketball fans out there.
And for those of you who are not basketball fans, Zachary is taller than Alexander.
Yeah. This leads me into another topic, not the basketball, but
are we doing more directionless banter?
Well, we always open with directionless banter.
I thought that we asked people if they wanted that. No, we did. I think the majority of people liked the directionless.
Well, no, the majority of people said what podcast because they didn't know we had a podcast.
Well, no, I think just anecdotally since we.
No, from the last
people,
episode,
yeah. Hey, I like the directionless banter.
Well, it's the best thing that we do. It's the only thing we do
It's the only thing
well.
we seem to have skills
Yeah.
at.
But we had a conversation the other day in one of our business meetings. I'm the chief operating officer for the company. You're the
CEO.
He's the chief executive officer, and Zachary's the president, El Presidente. But during one of our business meetings, we were talking about whether or not we should call you guys warlocks.
Yes.
When we close out.
Yes.
And be like, all right, warlocks. Because, we are the Old Warlock. That's our company name. But
well, I think you were against that, though.
I wasn't... I don't know. I wasn't inherently for it initially. Because it seemed kind of corny.
Everything we do on
that's
corny.
why I started.
Perfect.
That's why I started to come around towards the end of the conversation because I think it would kind of fit into our feel, our vibe. So let us know what you think down below. If you guys want to be known as the Warlocks,
should we refer to you as "Hey guys," or should we refer to you as fellow Warlocks?
Fellow Warlocks, or secret option C?
Which is
should we call you our little Warlocks?
No, I'm against that.
You're against that one? That's too far.
That's now that, my friends, is corny. Our little... Sorry, he didn't mean that. He didn't actually say that. I'm going to edit that out. 0 sugar in it.
The Old Warlock. Pardon me.
Excuse us.
The Old Warlock.
Excuse you.
Not sponsored by Sparkling Ice.
At all. No.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. We really want to have a sponsor.
Not, even if it was just for
not because for anybody out there desperately wanting to sponsor something, it's not because we want money.
No.
Or we don't even want free things. It's not that's nothing to do with it. We're just, we talk a lot about being niche internet micro celebrities, and we're very, very proud of that. And
tiny niche micro internet. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, that. And I think that the next step, we both agree, in our being tiny internet niche
evolution.
micro celebrities, exactly, in the next stage of development for us, would be to get a sponsorship and to be able to say, this video is sponsored by.
Well, you know, and I would be happy with just saying, this video is sponsored by Tim. You know, I mean,
if you're just like Dave, this video is sponsored by David.
I would really be fine with
that. And if you, honestly, we should offer that as a service. Just like if you don't.
Okay, no. Here's what we do. This is what we do right now.
Okay.
The first comment we get on this video that says, I want to sponsor your next podcast.
We're going to say, okay, we'll say it's sponsored by you.
It's going to be sponsored by you. And you can say, as long as you keep it clean, you can say whatever name you want to say. You could say,
You could say a character name. You could say a
sponsored by
name.
Donald Duck. I don't care.
Well, we can't do that.
Oh, that's right, we can't.
Yeah,
we
couldn't say that out. Sponsored by beep. That's all they heard just there.
But you could say Don Duck.
Don Duckling.
No, I think Don Duck would be fine.
That might work.
Mike Mouse.
Yeah.
You know, anything. The first person to respond, we're going to consider you the sponsor. He does not going to cost you anything.
Nope.
You don't have to pay anything.
So those of you who have the notification bells on for our YouTube channel,
you're in the running really quick.
You're in the running right now. So
just respond, say, I want to be your next sponsor.
Get down there right now, because honestly, if you clicked on the notification right after it came up, you are probably one of 2 people watching this right now.
Right.
So
hit that
how
button.
about you hop on it? Get down there. We'll wait.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so
I was gonna wait longer.
You have no faith in us whatsoever, do you?
Not even a little bit. What were we talking about the other day? We went back 2 nights ago and we watched. We get a lot of joy out of seeing ourselves up on the big screen. So we sat down.
We're really kind of pathetic.
We sat down and we watched some of the old videos like on a big TV screen, because YouTube app on a smart TV.
Yeah, well, why not?
Yeah, and I have to iterate, not reiterate, iterate unless you do it again. What our favorite video probably we've ever made. This might not be the case anymore. I think the Torch video. Also, go watch the Torch video.
Yeah, very, very true. A lot of people have missed our Torch video, and we think that was one of the most fun videos we've done.
That's just good. Like that's maybe our highest quality video we've ever made.
Which is not saying much, granted.
Yeah.
But for us, I mean, if you're willing to watch our podcast video,
yeah, if you're here right now,
then the level of quality on the Torch video is a little high.
Yeah, it's going to be a little level up for you. So yes, we will wait again. Pause this now and come back after you've watched the Torch video.
Yes. Okay, so
anyway, we were watching the 50th subscriber celebration that we made.
Right.
What was that? About a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
now, end of 2020, we made the 50th subscriber celebration. 2020.
I guess it was about then.
Yeah, it was like Christmas time. I think it was November of 2020 we made that, something like that. And it was our celebration of getting our 50th subscriber, which we were very, very excited about because it took us 2 years basically to get to that point.
Yeah.
And
we were so proud.
We were very proud of ourselves. And in the we had a competition at the beginning where we signed a picture of all 3 of us, like we were just talking about. And the first 5 people who commented to enter the drawing we were going to select one of them randomly to give them that picture. Should I give away the goat?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
But we were just laughing about the fact that I don't even think we got 5 people. I think we had 4 comments.
I think we had 4 people like,
yeah.
Okay, cool, guys.
Yeah, I would like to win.
At least in the time frame that we said you have to respond.
Yeah, because we said like within the next week or something after it was published, you had to, and I think that there were 4 people out of the 5 maximum that we. So yeah, that was funny. Not to say that we would get that many more now, but.
Although I think one of my favorite comments of all time, and it's somebody who makes comments fairly regularly, and I know your name, I just can't remember it right offhand, but I'm going to put it on the screen. I'll put it right here. One of my favorite comments out of anything that we've ever received was the comment, "I've never been more disappointed in missing out on a contest in my life."
Who was that?
I can't remember. To me, that was one of the most fun comments we've had. We've had a lot of really cool ones. That was one of the most
That
fun
brought
ones.
us a lot of joy. That was really funny. Here, entertain the people for a second.
Let's see. What should I do? I'll
Tell a story.
I'll talk like Dewey Duck.
Like Dewey? Oh, God. Buckle up. Brace yourselves,
I'm a fan
kids.
of DuckTales, and as you know, Donald Duck comic books, Scrooge comic books. And so one of the things that I've taken from DuckTales is I've really worked on developing my Huey, Dewey,
I've got to beat him.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie impersonation.
All right, I will save you from the impersonation. If you would like to hear the impersonation, subscribe to our coffee page.
Yeah,
I guess.
or put a comment in the down below.
Yeah, comment
As you can
below.
see, we're trying to get comments here. It validates.
John Frameth. I've never been more disappointed for
And
missing out
and John has actually
on a
commented
drawing.
a lot.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. ... Congrats to the double unit, the absolute unit that won. Also, congrats on 190 subs. John, thank you for commenting. After we had achieved our fame of 190 subscribers.
I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
But we're almost to, I think we're at 1,700 subscribers now.
Almost.
Like two short or three
morning,
short or something?
I think we were at 1,693.
I know we were up to 695 at one point today.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Not that
friends.
it matters to you, but it matters to us.
Tell your friends to watch.
Or people you don't like or people you don't know.
Either one works.
Yeah, we'll take either one.
I will say one of my greatest points of pride is having this YouTube channel.
Okay. Now, okay, as old retired guy, that would be okay for me.
What you're saying?
I need you to get out more. I need you to
listen. I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from. Fair point.
Well, no, but at the same time, I shouldn't say that because
this guy over here,
it's
wants me to go out on the town more.
I just want you to have higher aspirations.
You just don't like me, do you? That's what it is. That's what it comes down to.
No, you're one of my favorite people, but I want you to have higher aspirations.
I hope so.
Actually,
your firstborn son.
I don't know that many people, so
I'm gonna leave right now.
Watch him go.
Yeah.
Here he goes. No, he won't because I
don't have anywhere to go. Yeah.
This is his favorite thing.
That's all I have.
So what else is happening here? Enough wallowing in self-pity. What else we have? Aside from the fact that you're really tired from work all day.
I am a little bit on the tired side. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So if I'm a little goofy this episode, I apologize.
This episode?
Yeah. I don't know what else. And unfortunately we haven't gotten to play Dungeons and Dragons in a while.
We have
not. It's been about a month, I would say.
It's been longer than that.
Month and a half, 2 months.
Since I got sick, we haven't played.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a while.
Then
we haven't been able to schedule
damaged myself, and we haven't played.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get that in there soon because I've been itching.
You've been itching.
I've been itching to get back into it.
You've been itching, yeah.
I have. So hopefully we'll figure that out.
Oh, one thing that we could briefly talk about.
Okay.
And we might even do a video about this at some point. You lost your microphone there.
No, it's still here.
Incarnate.
Yes. Tell the people about Incarnate.
Incarnate. I am a big fan, have been a big fan of Wonder Draft.
And Dungeon Draft.
And Dungeon Draft, both. Those are both excellent programs put out by the same person for developing interior buildings and also developing continents and things like that.
Yeah,
so
Wonder Draft is more like maps, broader world maps. Dungeon Draft is for more towns, buildings, cities, dungeons.
Right, and I absolutely love both of those programs.
Fantastic programs.
And I will continue to use Wonder Draft as my world building map making
because it is very good
thing. And it's very quick and easy.
They're both very easy to use.
Yes, but I decided to pick up Incarnate recently, and it's like I think it's 20. You have to pay a subscription for it, but I think it's $25 a year.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But wow, I mean, we've developed some really cool stuff.
Well, you especially
from that,
because I will say it is a little bit more complicated.
Just a bit.
Everything in Dungeon Draft and Wonder Draft is very simple, straightforward. Yeah. It's right there, and you don't really need any tutorials or anything like that to understand it. I haven't had a chance to go through the actual Incarnate tutorials yet, but you have, and you've made some very, very cool stuff.
Well, that kind of stuff, it comes pretty easy to me. I mean, I've been tinkering around with Photoshoppy, computer stuff for years and years. And so that came along pretty quickly to me. But in all honesty, I'll run a couple of things, run you through a couple of things on it.
Yeah.
It's a very simple program. It's different from Dungeon Draft.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But It's got some really cool stuff in it. But I've been making some things here recently, and I'm actually making interiors, building interiors and things from stuff that actually exists in my world. And we might end up making some of that stuff available here at some point.
We might. Not to, for some reason I keep thinking I'm looking at the camera, and I'm definitely
I keep looking at the screen above
up. Yeah, so if it looks like, when somebody's looking at your forehead instead
or they're
of looking,
staring off into space like idiots.
Yeah, that's us. But
we do that a lot anyway, so
we're just
you wouldn't be able to tell.
Not to give away the goat too much, but yeah, we are planning on hopefully releasing some of our own maps, content, buildings, dungeon type things that you guys might be able to pick up here at some point. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah, we'll let you know. It'll be stuff that's primarily from my world.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be using it in my world anyway. And we thought, we're making this, it's pretty cool. Why not make it available to other people?
If you guys want it, then yeah, you might be able to get it.
Anyway, but that's not the reason I brought it up. It's just because Incarnate is a really cool program.
It is a very cool program. Definitely recommend at least checking it out, because I believe there's a free version.
There is.
Or at least there's a trial version.
There's a free version that doesn't have access to all the graphics.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And you can only save, I think, so many things. One of the I'm of two minds of it. But one of the things that I do like in some instances is that it's an online program. So I can fire up pretty much any computer.
Making sure it's still running.
I can fire up pretty much any computer that has access to the internet, and I can pull my stuff up and play around and build stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas with Wonder Draft or Dungeon Draft, it's the files are saved on your. Yeah. You can still download the things that you're making to your computer, but most of the things that you're going to be working on reside on their website. Yeah. And that's actually a good thing, but it's also kind of scary at the same time, because you have to make sure you constantly download your files, because I don't want to lose my stuff, but that's the way I know.
The other thing we could talk about, do you want to tell the people what came in the mail today, or do you not want to tell them?
I want to wait on that.
Okay.
I want to wait on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Yeah, it's something we think is really cool.
We're excited. We're very excited about something we just got in the mail today.
We'll talk about that at a later date.
Okay, we will officially talk about that later.
But anyway, yeah, Incarnate's the only thing that I've been... Well, no, it's not.
Okay.
Because I got something else in the mail.
Yeah, you did. How could we forget? It's right here in front of us.
It's right in front of me. I finally got a complete set of... For those of you who are just listening to this podcast, I am holding up Volume 1 of the Wizard's Spell Compendium, which was put together in 1997. This was released. And this has all of this plus the other 3 volumes, which I also have, that I also purchased. It has all of the Wizard's spells collected from rulebooks, campaign settings, supplements, adventures, and magazines dating back to 1975 up to 1997.
Quite the purchase.
Let me delve here briefly.
Also, before you get into it, this just reminds me. You remember that list I made like 2 years ago of every Dungeons and Dragons book
I do
ever? I still haven't finished that. I decided to make a list of every D&D book or D&D adjacent book that was ever written, and then like put the average price of them on the internet in there, and it's still going. It's taking me a while. There's a lot of books, it turns out.
There's a lot of material that could be purchased.
Yeah.
I will never have a complete set. Someday, when you inherit all of these, you will be well on your way. But let me read, I'm just going to randomly
just take a look at one of these spells
here. One of these, let's see.
You're not being very random. You just did that to me once when we were on the podcast.
I know, and you're just being a problem.
Yeah. Take after my dad.
Okay, I'm going to just look at the book and choose Dancing Shadows. Okay. This is a 2nd level illusionist spell. Range of 30 yards.
Nice.
Area of effect is a 30-foot cube. Now, upon casting this spell, the wizard creates a dancing pattern of flickering lights and shadows in the area of effect. All creatures in the area must save versus spell or be disoriented while there, or for 2 rounds after leaving the area. Disoriented creatures suffer a -2 penalty to attack rolls, saving throws, and proficiency checks. Missile attacks made into or through the area are also penalized. Let's see here. A thief who successfully saves gains a plus 20% bonus to the Thief Hide in Shadows ability while in the area of Dancing Shadows.
Not bad at all.
This came from Polyhedron Magazine, which was very early in... Well, it actually went on for quite some time, actually, now that I think about it.
I quite like that spell. I think that's a good spell. And, I will say, highlights the underrated nature of the Illusionist.
I love the Illusionist. That's one of my favorite classes.
One of my favorite characters of yours that is also one of the characters I hate more than anything is...
Yes, it is a like-hate relationship.
Yeah, is an Illusionist. And that is... It's a very powerful... Yeah, Gnog the Gnome.
Gnog the Gnome, yes.
Yeah, Gnog the
Gnog, yeah. Gnog is...
evil.
He's quite the character.
I have wanted to kill Gnog many times. This is one of the few times that we actually are both players at the same time.
Yes.
It's in a friend of ours' world that we play in, and I don't know, but I really love the Illusionist when it's taken seriously and played as an Illusionist and not just as an adjacent magic user.
Right.
It's a very cool class of character.
Well,
I don't think it's used enough.
And Gnog is an Illusionist assassin.
Yes.
And the reason for that is because I love to play character classes that
make other people hate you.
Well, yeah, that too. But I also like to play character classes that use multiple abilities.
Yeah.
And to me, what better type of assassin could there be than an Illusionist assassin? Because you can cause people to kill themselves.
Yeah. Which is very dark.
And there's no evidence left behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Once the illusion is gone,
then it's over.
It's over.
Nothing was ever there. And I will say the assassin also a very underrated character.
Yeah.
I think it's a very underrated character class that I think it's also swept under the rug. Because there are some AD&D character classes that we think are kind of dumb, like the acrobat.
Well, and I think that most of those come out of what I would call D&D 1.5, and that is anything
in Unearthed Arcana.
Unearthed Arcana, yeah. A lot of the classes in there we don't even allow to be played.
Well, we allow them.
The barbarian doesn't. You can't play a barbarian in my world.
Oh, in your world, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little too powerful.
They're out of control.
And the Cavalier is barely a different class. I struggle to see how the Cavalier is really that
right.
different.
I mean, I don't think that if you want to play a warrior that has Cavalier-like tendencies, then to play a warrior that has Cavalier-like tendencies. You don't need special abilities.
It just seems like a paladin with, I think, more hit points and no god.
Something I don't remember the exact.
I've never actually been a Cavalier.
We've never played them.
No.
We've never had them in my campaign.
Yeah. If I want to ride a horse, then I'll get a horse.
I don't know how we got off on that subject.
I don't know.
Because it was the Illusionist.
The Illusionist, the Assassin, to the Unearthed Arcana, yeah.
Let me pull another spell.
Is this one going to be random?
Because basically, I am just showing off the fact that I have a complete set of the Wizard's Spell Compendium. I also picked up the first volume of the Priest's Spell.
I thought I got the first two. Was this the first one?
So I've got to find, I think, 3 more of those.
Absolutely, you do. I encourage this completely.
Because you know you're going to get them someday when I die.
No, that would be mercenary of me. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Random spell. Let's see. Immunity to Undeath. Wow. Level 9 spell.
I don't think I would, just from what it sounds like, I wouldn't want to be immune to undeath, because that sounds like you're immune to life.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let me read this. This spell creates a globe that moves with and is centered on the caster. The perimeter of this protected area glows with a very faint blue-white radiance, visible only in gloomy or dark surroundings. All creatures can freely pass into and out of the globe. Within the globe, all beings are rendered immune to undead energy-draining attacks. There you go.
Seems pretty...
Strength-draining attacks, mental control, and all undead powers that cause fear, paralyzation, aging, or death, such as a banshee wail.
Ooh.
The undead can be turned as usual. So, it's a level 9 spell, though. But if
I was going to say.
If you're heading into a scary tomb or a grave area or a barrow cemetery, you might get somebody to cast one of these on some sort of a magical item that you could take with you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't banshee wails kill you?
As I remember, banshee wails, you just die.
I think that's just like... Yeah.
Within the globe, physical attacks by undead creatures inflict normal physical damage. Undead cannot voluntarily change form. For example, a vampire cannot turn into a gaseous form. Nor can undead creatures such as zombies be animated. Shadows and other hard-to-discern undead are clearly outlined at all times while within the globe and are vulnerable to all weapons. So this is in a 40-foot radius. So you'd be kind of a powerhouse having this cast on you as you walked through the army of the undead, as it were.
Yeah, yeah. And
cool spell.
I will say, just reading that made me realize, some of you may have seen the video about why you need to lose levels, our thoughts about the undead.
Right.
That is the equalizer in all of this. Magic and the nature of the undead are the equalizer in Dungeons and Dragons, because like my main character in your world usually has a -6 armor class and he can fly. So physical damage is not what I'm ever worried about, but the constant threat of that, of the undead and of spells being cast on me, that's what still makes me vulnerable.
Well, and of course, I hate to tell you, but all of that high.
That's why he's building a safe room and he's never going to leave.
Fair enough. I'm removing a lot. I mean, magical things have gotten out of control in my world in some instances. And so I've worked up a situation where most of it is going away.
And that makes me very sad.
Back to where it should be, back to where we used to play it. So, yeah. But...
Yeah, I have to ask, have you done the rolls on my magic items yet?
No, I'm going to let you do that.
Yeah, I figured you would. Oh, man.
That way you are the master of your own destiny.
That's why I'm putting off playing that character, because I know that's going to happen at some point.
Because you're going to have to roll a percentage chance of your stuff. Basically, of your things having a saving throw and making it.
There are like 3 things that if I lose them, I'm
be sad.
I'm going to start a riot. I'm going to form a union with a players union with the other players in your world, and we're going to demand better treatment.
Fair enough. We'll see how management takes that.
Yeah, not to make things political, sorry guys, but...
What was I going... well, one of the things... And for people who complain, well, it just seems to me that it's really terrible. There were people who complained in our video that you have to lose levels in D&D.
Yeah, that was one of the other videos where some people were not happy.
And we got a lot of people who were saying, well, it just seems terrible that you would lose levels. They're hard-earned, and I just think that sucks. And I guess that this is, that kind of a spell. That's one of the ways, in my campaign, you never willingly just rush into a place where there's undead. You just don't do
If you are being smart, you don't do that.
Right. But if you have to, spells like that, you need to have preparation.
Yeah,
You've got to prepare. You've got to plan. And to me, that's an integral part of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And that planning process will get you through an encounter with the undead. And spells like the one I just read, those are the kinds of things that you should be trying to find before you say, you know what? We've got to go in and we've got to rescue so-and-so from this colony of vampires.
Yeah.
You got to think ahead.
Yeah, because I remember even when Zachary and I first started out playing the game, planning out what we were going to do was the most fun aspect of it.
Yeah.
Not even actually playing the game. And granted, I was like 12 when this was the case, but like just getting the shopping guide out of the player's handbook and being like, we're going to get this, and then we're going to do all this stuff.
Well, and then you make your wish list.
Yeah.
I was like, but then if I can only find 400 gold, I can get this, and that to me,
The goal was to always purchase a warship, because that's like the biggest thing you can buy.
Like 150,000 gold or
I think
50,000.
it's like 200,000. I don't know, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was always the goal, and I have yet to do it.
Anyway.
This, however, brought me to thinking of another thing that I came across, and this is kind of a quasi-directionless bench. I was talking to John the other day.
Hi, John, if you're watching.
Yeah, and John is one of the oldest, he's one of my oldest friends for one thing, but he's also one of the people who has played with me longer than anybody else. Although we haven't played in years.
No, I can't even.
But we still.
Think of the last time you did.
I can't either. But we still talk about D&D all the time. I mean, it's a regular conversation with us.
Yeah.
John is probably far and away the best player I've ever played the game with.
Ouch.
And I'm sorry to say that, but he really is.
He's from what you've told me, he's far and away better than I am.
Well, it's not, and a lot of that is just to do with wisdom and experience. But he is just an excellent player.
Because I'm unwise and inexperienced, apparently.
You're 20 years old.
Yeah,
but John came up with a really cool idea the other day, and he said, you really ought to think about integrating this into your campaign. It's a character class. Mm-hmm. And
we hadn't really settled on a name, but because once he'll toss out the idea, I'll take it and refine it a little bit. He'll refine it even more, and we'll kick it back and forth until at some point we come to a conclusion about what it should be. But the character class was something akin to an expert. And the expert...
Oh, you told me about this, yeah.
Yeah, the expert could be in any one of a number of different things. But the point of being the expert, and I don't like that term, and I think we came up with another term, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
The point being for an expert is that you become an expert in a particular subject. And so you might become an expert in ogres. And your job as an individual in the game is to become completely versant in...
Good word.
Thank you. I don't know if it's real or not.
I don't
It sounds
know if it is,
really
but
cool.
it sound, yeah.
To become completely versant or well-versed or completely knowledgeable of, say, ogres. Mm-hmm. And so your adventures and your desires for moving forward and for accomplishing things revolve around going and observing ogres, reading up on ogres, understanding everything that ogres do, ogre culture, ogre anatomy, ogre physiology, the ecosystems that ogres live in, etc., etc. And suddenly your goal is to become the expert in ogres. And once you become the expert in ogres, mm-hmm. then you often can get hired by people who maybe they have to go and battle ogres, or maybe they have a problem with ogres and they need advice on how to get rid of said ogres. Or how to work with ogres, or how to whatever. But if you become the center of knowledge for a particular subject matter, I think that's a great idea. I
think it is as well. But then I remember the thing you and I talked about adjacent to that is that, say you did become, the expert on ogres, then you would start to value, there's a chance you could start to value ogres.
True.
For what they were, and their cultures, and their familial relationships, the family dynamics and things like that other people wouldn't. And you would be misunderstood because of your...
Which could lead to really interesting adventures.
Exactly, absolutely. Because you may hate ogres originally, you may come to care about them and want to protect them because you don't think that they're,
Or...
being persecuted justifiably, something like that.
Or vice versa. You might become someone who absolutely despises ogres.
An ogre murderer.
And you will want to see ogres exterminated off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of options. Anyway, but I just thought I'd bring that up. And we're going to look into that a little bit more as the podcasts go by.
Yes.
Because I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, I think that is a good idea. I do like that one.
Done with wizard spells?
I think that's a good amount of wizard spells.
We have many, many more to bring out to you.
Let us know your favorite wizard spells down in the comment section below.
Or, if you have a wizard spell that you've made up, let us know about that too. We're always happy to steal ideas.
Well, no.
We're always happy to borrow ideas.
Yes, we're happy to use your ideas in tandem with you.
Yes. Anyway, something that we were talking about last podcast, was the specialty mages.
That last podcast with a great thumbnail.
You and Zachary mocked my thumbnail. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with my thumbnail.
There wasn't anything wrong with your thumbnail.
Then why are you mocking my thumbnail? Not my thumbnail, the thumbnail that I created for the podcast.
The video.
Yeah.
For that video, for the last podcast video, and for the there's a video on the Encyclopedia Magica.
Yeah.
It was the lost episodes of the old Warlock that we put together.
Yeah.
You did both of the thumbnails for those videos, and Zachary was very, very angry with you for making those thumbnails.
He was upset.
Because you guys may notice, a lot of the thumbnails that we put out for the videos on this channel are pretty darn good. They're very high quality.
Those are the ones I make.
Not to brag. Yeah, no, they're not. But, no, I just thought that was funny. Anyway, continue, please.
I just don't want to talk to either one of you anymore.
I know.
I threw those together in about 8 minutes.
And they look great.
They worked fine.
They did. We got 1,000 views.
Well, that's what makes Zachary mad. Said he complained about the thumbnail, and then I had to, of course, point out, yeah, but look at how many views we've got.
It's got 1,000 views.
Yeah. Anyway, the last time that we talked on a podcast, we did a little bit of a discussion about Imagine Magazine, and we pulled out some monsters. We had the Canopic Shade.
We did.
And
Big
that was
fan.
a really cool monster, and I thought I would bring up one more here. This is semi-random. This is called the Jebeth, and again, this is from Imagine Magazine. And I kind of like this one. this is well, let me just read it. The Jebeth is an insubstantial, malevolent spirit that can only be released into the world as the result of powerful and misguided magic. Love that.
Big fan.
That's really cool. When a magic user casts a summoning spell of some type, a spell involving any of the planes, or an animate dead spell, there is a 1% chance that a Jebeth will be accidentally involved. Okay, that 1% is way too low.
I figured you were going to take issue with that.
Yeah, that needs to
be... It needs to be 50.
I think it's like 75% chance, personally.
But you're evil.
Yeah. Actually, I think that a 5% chance would be a much better idea.
Yeah. You're never going to get the one.
Let's see. It is, in its insubstantial form, a Jebeth attacks by touch. If it strikes its victim, and that victim has an intelligence of 10 or less, the Jebeth enters the victim's mind, gaining total control of the victim's body in the process. If the attack is successful, the Jebeth makes itself at home and then is raised to 18 as the creature's natural wiliness takes command. Wiliness takes command. The victim is entitled to a saving throw versus magic wands, and if this is successful, the Jebeth cannot attack again that day. Once in a body, the Jebeth can use all the abilities and skills that its victim had before it took over, including any weapon handling skills and spells that were memorized at the time of the initial attack. Goes on and on. Jebeth in possession of a body can still attack, but it can now restrain itself so as to cause less damage to a target. A Jebeth has one particular ability that is more terrifying than any other. At times of stress, when wounded, for example, there is a 1 in 6 chance that the creature's features will start to fade. The process takes 3 rounds in total, at the end of which the face will be completely blank. Anyone witnessing such a change should save versus spell or suffer the effects of a blight spell due to the unnerving prospect of an opponent's features altering without apparent reason. I like that because I think there's a very strong chance that you wouldn't know that one of your companions had been taken over by this thing.
Yes, yeah.
And then it goes around as kind of a doppelganger and does what it wants to do.
Yeah.
But if it gets upset, the face disappears.
Yeah.
And then you know that there's something's up.
Something's gone really, really wrong.
Right. So I thought that was a cool monster.
No, I do like that quite a bit.
That's all you have to say.
That's all I really have to say. I don't know. No, I like monsters more in that variety of being dangerous. I think that there's a lot of focus in all of the manuals on there's a big scary thing with nasty pointy teeth and it's gonna get you.
Nasty
and it's
teeth.
Like, that's great. But I like things like that when they are implemented creatively and properly
yes.
will add to the storyline and will make things more. It'll spice things up. It'll make things more interesting because then you're not always worried about getting hit with something like getting punched. You have to worry about these other things too, and that's going to make you, like we were saying earlier, prepare more for what you're going to have to do in your adventure, and you're going to be more cognizant of everything going on around you.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah,
and those are exactly the kinds of monsters I like.
Yes, which pains me deeply because my small brain is still only worried about swords.
Really?
Well, no, but I struggle to diversify my concerns sometimes.
Oh, I don't understand. You're only concerned about swords.
I mean, I'm not only concerned about swords, but a lot of the time I will find myself getting caught up in being concerned about physical danger.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
than the conniving monsters, the cunning monsters.
Yeah, the evil things that you hide in the darkness to wait for me.
Which is like 50%.
Yeah, the
80%.
Mind flayers. Do you even have mind flayers in your world?
I have like 2.
I figured it would be low because we don't use psionics.
Nope.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, for those of you who someday play in my campaign, you won't have to worry too much about mind flayers. But I like the concept of the mind flare.
Yeah, I do as well. I was just wondering how they would be implemented because that's like all they do.
Well, there are attacks I think that the mind flayers do that are not necessarily psionic based attacks.
Well, because they're just super powerful magic users as well.
Yeah, so they're nasty anyway.
Yeah,
yeah. I've only got 2 in my entire campaign.
Are they? Do you want to tell me their names?
No, and I'm not going to tell you where they live either.
Okay.
Because then you can avoid that area, and that's not going to happen. One of the other things that we talked about last time was Different Worlds magazine.
Indeed.
Very early magazine, and we had talked about specialty mages.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I would continue with that series. Yeah, I thought they were kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Let's go over a couple more of those by Mike Gunderloy.
Yes. I loved Mike Gunderloy's name. That was, yes.
Good name, yeah.
Yeah.
And we had last time I think it was the Mages of Earth and the Mages of Water. These were specialty mages that focused on particular elements, and they had spells accordingly that they ended up using to the exclusion of other things.
Yeah.
Think Avatar.
Last Airbender.
Specialty.
Like,
what?
The earth benders, and the water.
Oh, yes.
Benders.
Gotcha. Yeah,
that was how I compared it. Billy, you know what I'm talking about.
Billy doesn't watch the videos.
Bill, tell your son to watch the videos.
Anyway, the next of Mike Gunderloy's, was it Mike Gunderloy?
Yeah.
Yes, Mike Gunderloy's creations were the Mages of Light. And their description: these are the Illuminati, selected by the forces of good and initiated from earliest childhood into the mysteries of light, the essence of good. They travel the world using their mastery of and patronage by light to aid and befriend those in need. They fight against evil in all of its guises and exist mainly to wipe the vestiges of dark off the earth. They are strongly organized into a quasi-religious guild, and one light mage will always come to the aid of another no matter what the danger. So, kind of cool.
I kind of like that.
Level 1 spells. Read magic, detect magic, phantasmal force, detect invisible, as D&D magic user. Mm-hmm. But they also have Sunbeam. This spell has the range and 2 hit modifications of an arrow shot from a short bow by a fighter of the same combat class as the mage. It travels in a straight line from the caster to the target and does 1d4 damage per 3 levels of the caster. It does damage only if it hits and the save is failed. There's also Light Barrier. This spell provides armor class 3 versus normal attacks, and armor class 6 versus missiles by dazzling the eyes of those who view the protected person. They can cast light equal to full daylight. It covers a 20-foot radius, plus a certain amount equal to the caster's level. And that's how many turns that it will last. But that can be really valuable in the middle of a dungeon.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's Detect Illusion. You can detect all illusions and phantasms. And then Anti-Shadow affects one person. Removes the person's shadow completely. That could actually be very beneficial to thieves and things like that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Second level spells: Invisibility, Mirror Image, Continual Light, Javelin of Light, which is similar to the Arrow of Light or Sunbeam, Light Blind, Ropes of Light that... Light Bind. Ropes of light that bind 1d4 creatures as a rope of entanglement. No effect on those over 4th level.
It's just Wonder Woman.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And protection from light. Colored light creates an 8-foot in diameter globe of colored light. The caster, in any color the caster wishes, it has no effects, but looks very much like a prismatic wall. And then Telescope gives one person 10 times range and acuity of vision. So that's 2nd level spells for the Mage of Light. So there's a bunch of other ones in there, but I think that'd be a cool thing to do.
I like that. There's just the description of it gives me the you know how people say that lawful good isn't the best good.
Yeah, neutral
that
good
you
is
can
the
be.
best, yeah.
That seemed reminiscent of like wiping out all kinds of darkness from the world. Very non-bending.
Sure. Very dogmatic.
Uncompromising, sort of view of the world from their perspective. And I think that could be cool.
Yep. Well, and then the other side of that, of course, is the Mages of Dark, the next mage, specialty mage.
Shocker.
When they learned of the light mages, the powers of evil were disturbed, and so they formed and nurtured their own evil brotherhood of the Dark Mages. These are trained in the mastery of darkness and evil, and they roam the world bringing death and despair to all they meet. They fight the light mages in any way that they can. Their brotherhood is strong and close, and one dark mage will always aid another no matter what the price. They are secretive, and the populace generally hates them. Alignment is always lawful evil.
So the Jedi and the Sith, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. And then they have very similar spells. It's just opposite spells of the Mage of Light.
So I mean, I think that would be a fun thing to implement.
Yeah.
In a small way, I think that would be a cool thing to have.
Right, I wouldn't want to have
kicking around in the background of a world.
But at the same time, I can see that as being a major event.
Yeah.
Where
the mages of light get out of control, or the mages of darkness get out of control.
That's a good point, yeah.
You know?
I could also see it being the big historical
Yes.
aspect to a world.
Yes.
Where there was a big war between them or something.
Right.
In a past age.
We've got several more of these. I'm not going to go into them now. We'll save them for the next podcast. But we've got several more in this particular magazine that we will discuss.
Continue with.
Yes.
And I hate to be this guy, but we have been going for about 45 minutes,
Oh,
which is
geez.
usually our...
That's our cutoff. That's our bedtime.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, and that's why I'm cutting off here the different worlds. Let's do one random magic item, and then we're done.
And then we'll call it quits, because we know you guys love the magic item.
Pick a number between 1 and 4.
Come on.
4.3. That's not a number between 1 and 4. That's outside the range.
I'm sorry. 3.3.
Math wizard over here. Well, we're going to go with book number 3 since you are so bad at math. Okay.
I get it from someone I know.
Yeah, your mother is just so bad.
I know.
She's terrible at math. I can hardly believe it. Okay. I'll do it randomly.
Random magical item.
Here
Drum
we
roll.
go. Oh, let's look at, what are these? These are rings. Okay. So we're going to do the ring of... No.
Did you just open up the Ring of Regeneration?
I did, and I'm not going to do the ring of regeneration.
Fun fact about the Ring of Regeneration. There is only one in your world.
Yep.
And I have not yet found it.
That's a very strong point. Well, this is the Ring of Readiness. Experience point value 2,000, gold piece value 10,000. This came from the Complete Fighter's Handbook. I think those were AD&D 2nd edition things.
Total aside, that's what they should call engagement rings.
Ring of Regeneration?
The Ring of Readiness. Because you're ready.
I could say other things, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Because your mother might watch the video and then she'll
kill you.
beat me like a dog.
He is kidding. He is kidding.
My wife's wonderful. She puts up with me. She's got a long, slow fuse.
It's still burning.
It's been burning for a couple decades now. Anyway, the Ring of Readiness. This magical item consists of 2 plain iron rings, one suitable to be worn on a finger and one larger, some 2 inches in diameter. The larger ring is to be placed on some item. It can be sewn into or bolted onto a set of armor. It can be placed upon the pommel of a weapon. I'm getting a good feeling about this one already.
Mm-hmm. Very creative.
In which case it shrinks until it fits snugly. It can be attached to any item of personal gear weighing less than 100 pounds. When the larger ring is attached to an object and the smaller ring is worn by a character, the character needs only to utter the magical word inscribed on the inside of the smaller ring. When this is done, if the other ring is within 10 miles, it instantaneously it immediately transports the object to the character. If the item attached to the other ring is a weapon, it will appear in his hand. If the item is a suit of armor, it appears on the character. If the character is already wearing a suit of armor, it appears next to him or her. If the item is something else, it appears in a fashion dictated by the DM. A crown will appear on a character's head, while a sewing machine would appear on the ground or floor, for instance. If the item attached to the larger ring is more than 10 miles away, nothing happens.
I quite like that.
This is really cool.
That could be very, very useful.
Well, I immediately picture you're going in. It's almost like the Luke Skywalker entering Jabba the Hutt's place. You know.
Oh yeah.
You go in, dressed in a peasant outfit with no weapons, and they check you and make sure. But you go in as soon as you get inside. Wah! You've got your Vorpal in your hand, and you decapitate the head of the thief.
Decapitate Jabba, or the remember the scene from the 4th Harry Potter where he's like trying to get his broom down to him.
Yes,
fighting the dragon.
Right.
Same kind of thing. Yeah.
Yep. Living things are not transported. Once some of these objects may not be sent back, this is a one-way trip. The rings may be used any number of times. They do not wear out. Many heroes use this magical item so that they never lose their weapons. If the hero finds his sword disarmed in combat, he can call it to his hand in the next round.
I quite like that.
Some con artists use it to run a scam. They'll secretly attach the larger ring to some great item of treasure. Oh, this is good.
There it is.
They'll secretly attach the larger ring to some great item of treasure, sell it to a dealer, skip town with the dealer's money, and then summon the treasure back.
I like that.
There we go.
Big fan of that.
This is a good tactic until the vengeful dealer catches up with the creative thief. But, if I got a 10-mile head start, you're not
There's
catching
nothing
me.
catching you. These are the Middle Ages.
Exactly right. Anyway,
Quite like
I
that.
think that's actually quite cool.
Good magical item.
Great
this
magical item. I gotta
week,
remember that one.
This episode.
Yes. So, that's all I've got. If we're up at like 50 minutes, we got to shut this
Yeah,
bad
we
boy
really
down.
do. It's also bedtime for our good buddy Alexander over here. So
He needs a lot of beauty sleep.
you can't tell looking at me, but
He needs a lot of beauty sleep.
so yeah, that's all I've got.
Yes. Yes, indeed. That's all you have.
It is.
What else to wrap up here? I got nothing. We'll talk about similar things in the next podcast. We've actually had some good suggestions from people about subjects to make videos about.
Yes, absolutely. And there's some things that I think we're now finally able to do one of the big things that we were hoping to do this summer.
And I think hopefully we'll get that done in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, one of the big video ideas we wanted to do. So keep your eyes out for another big kind of torch video-like project.
Outdoors. We're going to be spending a lot of time.
Yeah, another outdoors hands-on type video. So we're going to do something again like that. And thank you guys for tuning in and for staying with us. If you're still here at the end, well done. Thank you for bringing that average view duration up for us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
You guys are the best. So I'm Alex.
I'm Jim.
Check all the links in the description below to all of our stuff, website, shirts. That's it
coffee
now.
page.
Yeah, coffee page, Instagram, all of our social media, all that stuff. Go take a look at that.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time around.
Keep your sword on free.
Bye-bye.